What? We're live. Hello, Rooney. Hopefully you're still there. Whiskey friend, why did you retract your message? Rooney, early is we're live on time. Oh, hold on. I knew this would happen. Hello, Rooney. Hopefully you're still there. Always make this mistake. Whiskey. There we go. We had to mute me because you guys can hear me. Oh, you couldn't hear anything anyway. Oh, hold on a sec. Is the sound on now, gentlemen? Somebody let me know if they can hear us. So I'm sitting in a very elegant pub, actually. I have never been in this pub. Well, I call it a pub. They call it a tavern or something. In the hotel, Chateau Louis. Whiskey Heathens. If you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. Or you're on the time. Hey, I'm here, guys. Thank you for joining me. And loud and clear. Awesome. Hopefully, you guys will be able to see everything. And I'm sitting here waiting for somebody to enjoy us dinner and have a pint. I thought maybe looks like he wants to sit in here and join. Big smiley face.
Afternoon. Morning.
Everybody.
Morning.
I'd like to introduce George S. Grant.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you again. It's been 5 years or so since I posted that picture that makes me look bad.
Well, you know, every picture makes you look bad, isn't it?
No, well, yeah, but you lost weight and I gained weight. Now I'm looking real bad.
Wait, that's how it works. It's karma. You know,
Sure.
One person gets it, one person loses it. So.
I blame it on the fact that the day I started drinking Glenfarclas, I got no, that's not it.
In that case, I should be like 800 pounds.
Yeah, well, there it backfired on me that one. There you go. Richie Z, how you doing? Bourbon Professor. Whiskey Heathens is Josh from up north, and Rooney, he is. How many bottles of Glenfarclas do you have on the Isle of, or the Faroe Islands? You know where the Faroe Islands are?
I do.
Right
I've
above
never
Scotland.
been. Yeah.
You gotta go.
I know.
Rooney, could you hook them up to do a tasting? Scotch Test Dummies just came back from Scotland. Have you seen these guys?
I'm not in Scotland very often.
No, you're traveling around way too much.
I was there last week, though. It was
Were
very
you?
novel.
Just for a minute?
I was there for a whole week.
Were you?
Yeah.
To visit the family and let them know you're still alive? Or?
Crap, I never forget to be someone.
You did? 51 bottles of Glenfarclas.
Wow.
Rooney. The Faroe Islands are phenomenal. You've never you thought there, right? Rooney will hook you up. I'm sure he's got somewhere where you can hang out and stay, right? Thank you, Bert. Oh, Scotch Test Dummies came back and did a live. So there's a guy in Scotland, Roy Duff, and them and the traveling Scotch Test Dummies who are from Kansas. He took them all over Scotland.
Awesome.
I thought I saw lots when I was there. We got to go and see, Isle of Arran first. Couldn't make it to your way, but when you hit all those ferries, it takes some time. But I have a curious question to ask you. Is I saw a barrel that said it was Glenfarclas barrel.
Yep.
In a Adelphi warehouse or Artem Merchant distillery.
Sorry? You definitely didn't see a barrel.
I saw a cask.
You saw a sherry butt.
A sherry butt.
That's right.
Interesting note on it. Who wrote that note on it?
That was from the directors of Glenfarclas, basically from myself, my father, and his wife.
Yeah. And?
Oh, just giving them the open distillery,
that they have.
giving them a sherry butt, so at least they had a decent cast to fill at the start.
That's right, they did. And somebody has a frog on the top of it.
I've seen that picture. Yeah, it was a frog was also jumping through the distillery and landed on top of the cask.
Yes. That's funny.
Very good.
Actually, anybody want to post in a question for George? Just throw it in there, and we'll try to catch it in the chat here, guys. Oftentimes you get a lot of cross chatting and so forth. So we've got about a half an hour or so. You're going to do another tasting
Apparently
for
so.
us.
Well, unless you leave me astray, as you said.
I think we could. I think your handler has disappeared, so we'll go and do whatever we want.
But that does happen a lot.
Cynthia wants to know if you're finished eating.
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
So first of all, we're having a nice pint, and this is on Glenfarclas. Thank you very much, George.
Cheers.
Cheers. You can tell George is drinking traditional stuff.
Oh yeah. It's not quite Scottish beer, but it's close.
It's not real. No, that actually, when I was in Scotland, I really enjoyed getting the real hand pulls. Yeah, they were awesome. Scott, did you guys have any hand pulls while you were there? Or were you strictly drinking at the distillers? Jason Whiskey Wise from London, how you doing? You must have met Jason.
I've met many people called Jason.
Yes. Jason, I'm sure you've you've been to a tasting anyway. Yes, he's drinking a stout. Jay Chung, how you doing? There we go. We got a bunch of people coming in. We'll go back and check out. So, would you like to give us a little spiel about what you got?
Just to give some of my favorite Glenfarclas. That at 15 years old, it's just my everyday drinking of whiskey. It's one that I enjoy the most of all. It's 46%. So for me, it's still a little bit of the aggression, a little bit of the youthfulness. Obviously, you'd associate with the younger whiskey, but then it's also got the depth and the finesse for the older whiskey. It's just got everything there.
So nice
in that sort of balance. And also the price point of it as well. It just sort of works well.
Yeah.
Then you jump up to 30 years old, also just doubling up. And especially this day and age, to drink whiskey that is 30 years old, it does actually still have an age still on it. There's not too many distilleries out there still putting 30-year-old whiskey out there day in, day out. And then the whiskey that we're most famous for, which is the Glenfarclas 105, which came out for the very first time in 1968. So it's 51 years ago that we first launched 105. It's 105 British proof.
I'm going to ask George a favor. I brought something from my collection. If I get my stubby fingers in here. And I got this at the Chateau Louis.
Very good.
So you better get this now. When was this? When was the first one released?
1968.
So there we go. Me and George are yet to meet. See. Okay. I thought you met everybody over there. Hey, George Kaplan's in, and we drank all the time, beer and whiskey.
So that's why half and a half.
So what makes the family cask unique?
So when we first launched the family cask, which was back in 2007, it was just one or two other distilleries have launched various different ranges of expressions, and we wanted to just basically show people that we were able to do it every single year. So when we first launched the family cask, we launched every vintage from 1952 to 1994. Since that period of time, some of the expressions have finished. In 52, for example, 53. But the rest of them, the bottles are still available. And we'll continue to add to them, so we're now up to 2003. So we've got over 50 years worth of family casks that have been bottled up.
So do you remember this bottle, cask 534?
I do not, but I remember the first 1968 we did, because it was something very, very special. So when we actually bottled up all the family casks, the 1968 we bottled up, and they wrote this, the bottling hall wrote back and said, here's all the bottles we bottled up, here's the outturn, here's the strengths of them all. And we went through them all, and we went to 1968 and said there must be a mistake, there's going to be a serious mistake. I think it said it was 65.1% alcohol. And it was like, it can't be 65.1% alcohol. It was at the time 38 years old. There's no way it can still be that strong. So we got them to go back and check it, and they came back and said, no, it's. So we went back and went through my grandfather's journal, because remember, she's in charge, always keeps a weekly journal, sort of writes about what the weather's like, what the water intake's been, and then we worked with them at the distillery. And it turns out in 1968, we ran out of space in the warehouses at Glenfarclas. So rather than make less whiskey, my grandfather simply filled it higher strength. So we put the same literally alcohol into the warehouses, but took up less space to do it. And so 1968, we filled it very high strength. And that's how we were able to then launch a special anniversary bottling 11 years ago. We did a 40-year-old 105. So it was these casks that we found from 1968.
So this one here is 448 bottles, 49.5%. But it's cask strength.
It's cask strength.
But it's not from their grandfather's special.
It's not from that particular range, but the thing you have to remember about this one is, I mean, it was obviously bottled 3 years after the first 68 that we did. We did it in 2007.
Well, that's awesome. 3 years after. That is great. You need to invite Scott.
This one makes it over 50 years old.
So we can just say Glenfarclas. Yeah, well, I would, but it's a little difficult right now. So far, never disappointed, Jason. I've got the core range sitting on my desk waiting to be tasted. So Jason is another YouTuber.
Excellent.
Right? Yeah, he does excellent YouTubes. The Scotch Test Dummies, they live up to their name. When they started, they were dummies. But I tell you something now, to listen to them and so forth, They're excellent. Thank you. So we're gonna hopefully get this autographed. Right, that'll be number one. I ask. I have another unique thing to ask you since we have two glasses here, and we're going to a tasting, so I'll taste this later.
Yeah, we can taste it now as well.
Well, what is your favorite blend?
What's my favorite blend? I don't drink an awful lot of blended whiskey. It's just not something that you get an opportunity to taste an awful lot of. However, the whiskey I do drink the most of is Johnny Walker Black Label.
Oh, really? Because it's on all the plane flights?
That's not on all the plane flights, but I do end up in some utter shitholes around the world. You know, be it in very remote places in India, places in China, Vietnam, wherever, Canada.
Are you sure you're getting real stuff? Not
well, that's the thing. When you walk, at least when you walk into a bar, you know, Johnny Walker's like McDonald's. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And especially most of the places you're going to have got the guava cap in it. And you know, so it's just available everywhere.
Yeah.
And when you have drunk it for a long period of time, you know what it is supposed to taste like.
That's right, you do. Thanks, Dan. Hey, you're welcome, my man. So what we have is Josh is an Instagrammer. Know Your Whiskey, and he made this. It's called Heathen Blend Batch 1. And I'm not sure how you know that it's 50.1% alcohol, but he put out the recipe. So we're going to give it a shot. Now, the reason I give it a shot with you is because it actually has one of your whiskeys in it.
Oh, how many whiskeys are in it?
Josh, are you watching? Whiskey Heathen? How many whiskeys are in here? He did post it. We'll have to take a look. Okay. And I haven't tried it yet either. He did a live, and we're going to find out. Tell George thanks for making good, well-aged whiskey and not charging an arm and a leg. That is a very good point you bring up.
Just a leg.
Just a leg. No, they're actually probably the most reasonably priced, under-marketed whiskey.
Well, see, that's the thing. Yes, okay, we can spend more money on marketing, then we'd have to charge more money because we spent money on marketing.
Yeah. That's a very valid point there. That the marketing costs a lot. Like that bottle and that case are they're very nice, but they're simple. Some of the other ones I've seen, even out of cardboard, man, we must be paying a chunk for that cardboard box.
Yeah. I mean, it's only recently we've actually started putting like the 30 and 40-year-old into wooden boxes.
Yeah.
But you know, even before, you know, a couple of years ago, the 10-year-old bottle packaging was the same as the 30-year-old, 40-year-old packaging.
Yeah, no,
at the end of the day, you can then keep the cost down a bit.
Yep. Okay, so Whiskey Heathen, we might have lost him here, or he's not around yet, but he was in here. Gohab says, does Daniel open every bottle? Wow, George, you kind of saw my whiskey. Yeah, I don't open every bottle right away. I will someday, yes. Right? Well, let's try this Whiskey Heathen blend. Cheers. And you got an expert trying this, so if you're not watching right now, Josh, you come back and watch. He doesn't like YouTube as much. He's an Instagram guy, but he does very well on Instagram. And you get a thank you for the less marketing and better whiskey. Actually, I thought it was pretty brazen that, not brazen on your part, but somebody actually wrote a letter, I don't know how many years ago, to your family and basically said that you're the king of whiskey. Right?
Yep.
So who was that? Do you remember? Because I don't. I just read it today.
It was written by another person in the whiskey industry.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah, no.
It's one of the nice things because we have people in the industry as well. You know, a lot of people do like Glenfarclas, drink Glenfarclas. Like you said, it is underrated, is undermarketed. But you know, each day we want to make sure we're making good quality products. So that's the most important.
I think that I've always been a fan of Glenfarclas. I have a shelf full, as I showed you. So what do we have here? Amy. Hey, Amy, how you doing? She's a #1 fan. I have 2 slightly used legs, but I would trade them for both. What kind of bottle would I get for that? For 2 legs? She wants to know. Well, you'd get a pretty nice bottle, I think, Amy. Right? So let's focus on this. Rooney says he's got a 62 family cask, release number 3. He's got quite a collection, actually. Rooney is I'm going there.
The family cask have just been phenomenal. The
They
number of
are.
people that do want to buy different vintages, different ages.
There's a rumor I heard that some collector in Asia flew you to his condo, and no one lives in the condo, just his collection.
Oh, I've been to a few of them.
And really, just for autographs.
Yeah.
They just want you to sign their bottles.
Yeah.
That is amazing that there are people out there like that, right? It does. So are you ready to try a whiskey heathen? What are you getting on that nose? She's got sherry in it, I think.
There's definitely a lot of sherry.
There might be a little peat.
It just doesn't nose like 50% whiskey though. So.
No, it's not hard on the nose at all. There is a few, Jason says.
Is it heavily malted? How much actually grain whiskeys in there?
I don't think it's all single malt. So I remember right.
That is malt.
Yep. I'll tell you where we'll try to find his little list here. He did post it, and I kind of forgot to look at it. This was off the cuff talking to him yesterday. He was one that wanted me to ask him, what's your favorite blend, right? And it makes total sense that you would say that it's.
My favorite blend I'm drinking recently, or not recently, but I really like Old Par from like the 70s. Some of them have been very, very good.
Really? You have, what is in here? There is a single grain, a 26-year-old Invergord.
Very good.
Won't tell you the percentage, but that's very good that you got that because I would have never got it. There's a Canadian one in here from Eau Claire Market down in Calgary. Their first release. Some Glenfarclas, Ecuador, and some 30-year-old Glenfarclas at 1.25%.
So how many bottles were actually ever made of it?
In this to get in there?
Yeah. What should they actually make it?
Oh, I don't know. I think he made one bottle, which is in that picture.
Yeah.
And then he sent us all 1 ounce samples.
Really?
So whatever he got, 70 samples. So there's a 30-year-old in there from Glenfarclas. Can you pick it out?
Yeah, it's the 14th whiskey there.
Actually, I'm actually pleasantly surprised that some guy in Fort McMurray, Canada, 5 hours north of here.
Yeah, it must be a long winter. Nothing else to do.
Well, they have long winters up there, man.
But no, I mean, hats off to him. I mean, how many people would actually have the balls to go and sit down and do it?
Sure.
I mean, it's but when I go and look at like the blenders in the world and stuff that they actually put together, I mean, it's not as easy as you make out. I mean,
No, I don't think it is.
We've done it before. But, like, remember the first 4-year-old that we made? We thought, yes, it'll be easy. We'll put all these casts together. My God, it tasted awful.
Did it?
Yeah, it was like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, that's
So then
very
I
honest.
had to go back through. Like, you literally take one cast out, or take the sample,
Yeah.
take it out, put it back in.
Start again.
And it really was like you literally take one of those whiskeys out and then completely change the profile.
Yeah.
So
That definitely comes across as 50% on your tongue.
I don't get that at all.
You didn't get that on your tongue at all? Man, I got a beg on it, but maybe it's because I've been kind of holding off.
Yeah. I was drinking tequila yesterday. That might have been.
Oh, in Vancouver.
In Victoria.
In Victoria. Oh, at that fancy. Well, what?
No, so I was doing a tasting of the Sticky Wicket.
Sticky Wicket.
In the room downstairs there. But beforehand, we were having they were teaching me how to drink bulldogs, which is frozen margaritas with a Corona stuck in the top of it.
Yeah.
But it's in this bar right next door to it. It's got a beach volleyball court.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just we're on the rooftop of the bar in downtown.
Did you go play?
No, I know, but there was the people you were watching were entertaining.
Yeah. I think if you had about 3 of those bulldogs, I think you'd probably get up.
Oh no, but we agreed that the next time we go back and do the tasting, we'll do it on the court.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was excellent. Yeah. Well, Josh, you have had George S. Grant drink your blend, and he didn't spit it out. He actually says that you've got some good balls. Is everyone enjoying a dram of Farkless or anything else right now? Well, that's a good question, Richie. I now have a few Barora and Port Ellen collectors like that. Houses for whiskey. Yes. This is Jason in London. Like, there are some, you must meet collectors that are, because I mean, my collection really is, I just ended up buying stuff.
No, you meet, like you said, you meet a lot of people in Asia that do sort of collect everything. You meet people that just collect specific brands.
Yeah.
I meet people that just collect Glenfarclas. I've met people that just collect different distilleries.
get you to tell that story. So there's one that somebody asked about to do with English tax. I don't remember how that story went because I don't remember ever hearing it. But you went to a festival in Vegas somewhere.
Yeah.
And you're all set up, and they just opened the doors. People were coming in, and there were guys. They were walking down. They were definitely loud, direct men saying, "Nope, nope,
Yeah.
nope," and then they looked at you.
That was actually New York. It was
New York?
Whiskey Fest, New York, a few years ago. And if people turn up an hour early, and you have to pay an extra $200 to get in an hour early. So this group of guys walked in, obviously bankers, whatever, all dressed up to the nines, and they had a leader with them, there's about a dozen of them. The guy walks in, he walks up to the first table with this hard bag, and he goes, "No, we don't drink that." I was like, "Okay, fair enough." Then they get to the counter table. "No, we don't drink that." And I'm like, "Okay, this is odd, man." Then they get to stuff out of it. "No, we don't drink that." And the next door to me is Abelard. "No, we don't drink that." And the next thing was they get to the Glenfarclas table. And they go, "Yes, we drink that." I was like, "That's odd." So I started pouring the guys a dram. And I said, "So, have you had Glenfarclas before?" And the leader goes, "No, never heard of it." And I was like, "Well, you don't understand. You just walked past some amazing distilleries. You just paid extra money to get in here early. But why are you here to drink Glenfarclas? Not the other expressions." And his reply was, "We only drink the Glens." And I was like, You are mentally unstable, but I love you.
Yeah, I only drink the Glens.
Yeah, we need more people like you.
That is awesome, right? Yeah. Rooney is enjoying. Oh, that's not Glen. Oh, it's an 11-year-old Kalila from the SMWS. Right? The Whiskey Friend is back. He's a new guy in Scotland. They started the YouTube channel, doing very, very well.
Excellent.
So I'm going to ask you about these two bottles that I found.
Yeah.
Dusty bottles, Dusty collection. They're pretty old, eh?
They're
old release, not
old release, yeah. But nobody can work these things out.
There's a code on them?
Oh, there's a code on them, but this one I know is about 15 to 20 years old.
When it was released?
Yeah.
Wow. I love where I live.
Because we switched the bottles over from this to the dumpy one about that kind of time.
Well, I like these. So there's a very unique picture here, gentlemen, of all these guys, and I think only one of them isn't named George.
Well, two.
Oh, two Johns.
Yeah, two Johns.
How come? And so who's who on here?
This is my great grandfather, John Grant. He purchased the distillery in 1865. And he passed the distillery on to his son, George Grant. He passed the distillery on to his son, George Grant. He passed the distillery on to my grandfather, George Grant. And then you have my father, John Grant, at the top there.
Right on. So are they going to come out with another one of these with your picture on it one day?
Oh, I've refused my picture on it already.
Yeah. Well, this is the first one I've found with a picture on it. I think that is awesome that I ended up finding this. It really got Curtis's blood. Oh, where'd you get those?
Where did you find it?
At a liquor store, not very far from me. And they had them in the back behind the till, in that closed cupboard. Well, I'm like, what are those? How many do you got? I said, I'll take them all. Right? Yep, I found them hidden in the back.
So this was phenomenal.
That'll be another autograph thing I'd like to sign.
No problem at all.
Now, there's quite a distinct difference in color from that.
To the current one.
Yeah, 15, 20 years difference. Here's a 105. So is that just the availability of, say, a certain cask?
Okay, there's a slight difference in darkness because of the bottle, obviously.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
But also you have to remember, like, back then, we were selling hardly any 105.
Yeah.
I mean, 15, 20 years ago, we were selling like maybe one bottle of 105 to
your regular.
To 10 bottles at 10. Yeah, one bottle of 105 to $10 a 10 unit.
Yeah.
Whereas today, half of all the business we always do is 105.
Yeah, really, that much, eh?
It's a massive.
Phenomenal. And do you think that the higher ABV has anything to do with it?
Why we sell so much?
Yeah.
Okay, this is easy. Why we sell so much? So we all speak English, well, to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
But you go to France, you go to Spain, or even parts of the UK. People can't immediately say or pronounce Glenfarclas. it's very different. But you go to China, you go to Japan, you go to any Asian country, they look at that and they have absolutely no idea what the hell that word says. But however, in every country,
They know what 105.
105 translates into any language.
Yeah.
No, numbers translate very, very easily.
Much easier. Yeah. So that's one way. Yeah. So the 105 is 105 proof.
105 British proof.
Now, yes. So the difference is,
So if you imagine you came along and saw me 300 years ago and said, George, I want to buy some of your whiskey, I'd say, sure, no problem. And I'd hand you clear liquid. Because back then we weren't aging anything. Right? We should basically put in stone jars. You look at this liquid and go to me, well, prove to me that it's whiskey.
Yeah.
So to prove to you that I make whiskey, I would take it and mix it together with something that everybody had lying around 400 years ago. It was gunpowder. Mix it together and light it. And if it exploded, I'd prove that I'd made whiskey. Whiskey mixed with gunpowder explodes at 100 British proof plus.
right.
And if it doesn't explode, you've not made whiskey. So the word prove evolved into the word proof. And 105 is roughly about 57.9 to 58% of that.
Unless you like to do easy math, and it's just 50%.
Yeah, but then it's just American.
Well, where that's our cousins in the
Yeah,
US.
but
Sorry, Scott.
But, their proofing system
Or George.
It's just made up. So.
Yeah, it's simple. Yeah. I do both. I have to work with engineers that are from Texas and so on. And actually, most of them are pretty easy to use metric and whatnot. Because some of the things when we're dealing with refineries has to be within a millimeter.
Yeah, well, NASA tried that, but they balls it up too, didn't they?
Yes, there was a bit of an accident. Yeah, no comment about that. No, not at all. I'm sorry if I've missed any questions, my friends. Whiskey fan, I need to pick up another 105. Yes, you do, Jay. That is one of George doesn't care really what you do to the whiskey.
That's one of those people always ask. How do you drink whiskey? Drink it straight, drink it with water, drink it with ice, drink it with Coke, drink it with green tea. How are you supposed to drink whiskey? My answer is always the same to everybody. You can drink it any way you like, as long as you're paying for it. I don't care how you drink it.
That's right. Did I just apologize? So yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you like simple math. There it is. That is an ongoing thing with the Scotch dummies and us apologizing all the time. Yes, we actually had that conversation about something sooner. Yeah. George loved hearing George point out everyone on YouTube. There you go. Yep. No, George is on par, but you've been up a long time. You woke up early this morning.
I woke up early this morning. I got up at 4:30 to leave Victoria.
Yeah.
Went to Vancouver, and then came here.
And we expect a big show for at least 3 or 4 hours.
Got another tasting tonight. Had one this afternoon. Yeah, just flew across to Canada the day before. So.
You ever get tired of talking about whiskey?
Yeah, all the time. No, I mean, talking about whiskey in presentations and stuff, I do enjoy. I still enjoy that. But I mean, it's one of those things when you have been up doing presentations, talking for 2 or 3 hours. I'm not kidding. Like you're in the room and you ask everybody, "Does anybody have any questions?" And there's no questions. And then I'm thinking, "Okay, I'm done." And then quite often I do. I want to go and sit in the corner for just like 30 minutes and not speak.
Yeah.
And have a drink or whatever. But it's at that point that then people think, "Oh, I'll come ask you a question," and you're like, "Can I just have a minute?"
Yeah, give me a moment. I get that at work lots too. I do. Because sometimes I have to carry 2 client radios.
Yeah.
And even if they're not talking to me, they're always talking. And I'm like, yeah, I need a moment. And I don't care. I'll go to the outhouse and just shut everything off. I eat in there if I have to.
There's this thing called the Cinderella Cruise, which happens every year in the early part of the year. And the boat goes between Finland and Sweden. And it goes back and forth. And you're on the boat for 3 days. Everybody else gets off and on. So they're on it for 24 hours. But you're on a boat. You're on a ferry. There's no cars on the ferry. So the car deck has been turned into a whiskey festival.
Wow.
And I mean, it's quite incredible because when you actually get on, it's basically like 1,000 guys. It's basically a massive cock fest that's going on.
Yeah.
And it's just these guys like whiskey nerds walking around, and they start asking you questions. You're very polite. You answer them and stuff, and you go, "Just excuse me, I'm going to the toilet." The first year I was there, people followed me to the toilet and carried on asking me questions, and I'm just like, "Okay, this is just too much. This is too much."
Weird. Yeah, a real moment. So that brings me up to a question. Oh. Quick one here. When will you be in London next? What's that? Where's London?
London. I'll be in London on Sunday at Heathrow.
Oh, not London, Ontario.
London, Ontario.
is the story about the great something grandfather True, who got cases of 105 brought to his deathbed for quite a long time by well-meaning grandson.
That was my grandfather. Yep, George Grant.
Yeah, true story.
True story.
Yeah,
that was his ram of choice.
My favorite story, and you can repeat it here if you don't mind, is when you woke up after being out all night with whatever group of people, and you packed your bag because you were late for the airplane. You had your ski coat,
yep,
and whatever in there, and you forgot that you had a bag with some peat in it or a chunk of peat, and you ended up in what airport?
Taipei.
In Taipei.
Yep.
And you got the rubber glove treatment.
I didn't quite get rubber glove treatment, but yeah, I hadn't slept at all. Got to the airport. I was in that limbo land. You don't know whether you're still drunk, hungover, or just about to die. He got on the plane, didn't want to fall asleep, so thought I'd never wake up again. Got to the airport, picked up my bag, and got to immigration. This is a long time ago, but you got your luggage and stuff before you went through.
Yeah.
And said, basically the guy came and tapped me on the shoulder, basically indicating I was in the wrong queue. I was standing in the Taiwanese national line, not the illegal alien line. so I get to the correct line, and he looks at me, shakes me his head, takes me to the private room, opens up my suitcase, and the first thing he finds is a massive brick of peat. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm trying to explain to him, it's Scottish earth. You know, the pot plant in his office, pulled the pot plant out of the pot, start compressing the earth. People don't understand you. You speak faster or louder, or you're like, Taiwanese earth, Scottish earth, Taiwanese earth. And I'm like, what am I, a bloody vampire? Why have I brought Scottish earth with me in the first place? You're just like, Jesus. So finally managed to persuade him of what that was. Then the next thing he found in my bag was my tasting kit. And I basically carried bags of malted barley. And I had a bag of grist. If you see a bag of grist in a clear plastic bag, it just is a bag of white powder.
Yeah.
I realized at this point there was no way I was going to manage to talk my way out of this. So hopefully the first and last time I did have to phone the British Embassy to can somebody come and help me, please?
Yes, please help me get out of this.
So it was 6 hours before I got out of the airport.
Oh man, and you were really tired after that. Yeah, it straightens you right out. You don't want to go to jail on that. All right. We have one more thing that I brought, and then we probably should let you go so you can have a quiet moment to get ready. But I got fortunate. Oh, nobody wants to walk through that area. I keep dumping on it. I got fortunate and found this is not the new 22-year-old. This is the first time I met George. He signed one of these for me. And I need him to re-sign it because I did what he said on the first one, which says drink me. So
I'm glad you did that.
Yep. Well, and I'm glad I found another one. I was very, very fortunate. And guess what? It was sold at pretty much the same price as 5 years ago.
Great.
So, Alberta, thank you very much. Any questions in there? God-Best family-run businesses? Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any threat this would stop being a family business?
No intention of that. No. People always ask, would you ever sell it? And no, I never would sell it. Obviously, there's several reasons why I wouldn't sell it. But one thing you have to take really clearly is that I work for a liquor company. I own a liquor company. If I didn't own a liquor company, that means I'd have to pay for my own drinks.
Oh my Lord!
I wouldn't have an expense account pay for that. No. And even if I'm at home and going out, and I'm in a bar, it's called market research.
Yeah.
And again, I can expense that. And it doesn't matter how much money you sell the place for. You have to pay for your own drinks.
Yeah. That is the best answer I've ever heard. I'm like, no, everybody go buy your own. Oh, wait a minute. If we all bought our own distillery, George would be out of business.
There you go.
Yeah. Tell George to write drink me on all of them, and I'll visit Daniel in Canada. All right, come on over, Jason. You're probably right. I think so I have a curious question. Who do you think has more autographs on bottles of whiskey? You or Jim McEwen?
So, obviously, Jim's been around for a longer period of time than I have. But one of my favorite stories is Jim and I used to have the same. We worked for Brutal we had the same distributor in Germany, and I was sort of a little bit green behind the ears. And also, somebody speaks in a foreign language. This guy came along and said, "Is there any chance I could buy the heel of this bottle?" And it was a bottle of 10-year-old Glenfarclas. Unless it was like half a bottle full. And I was like, "Yeah, hold on, let me ask the distributor." So the guy buy it, Peter goes, yeah, and I said, yeah, you can buy it. And he says, well, how much is it? And I said, oh, it's terrible much it was. And he said, oh, is there any chance you and Jim could sign it for me? And I was like, oh, sure, you can sign it for him. And I went and asked him to I said, how much is it? And he looked at it, 50. And I was like, okay. So I went back to the guy and said, 50 euros. And the guy looks at me and goes, 50 euros? And I was like, yeah. I said, okay. And he was like, well, if you and Jim sign it, okay. So Jim and I signed this bottle of whiskey, take a picture with him, hand it over. And I give the 50 euros to my distributor, who then hands me 35 euros back. And I was like, what the hell's that for? And he went, 15 euros. And I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, well, you just paid 35 euros for my signature and Jim's signature. So the first few beers of that night were kind of bought by this fan.
That's hilarious.
But no, I think it's nice how people do want people's signatures on bottles and things as well. Yeah. Last year, I took my oldest daughter, on a whiskey tasting to Sweden. And two other people there, they actually came up and asked her to sign the bottle.
Wow,
and
that would be awesome, actually.
She was like, "Oh, this is just amazing!" Yeah. And I was like, "There you go." So there's two people out there that have bottles been signed by my daughter.
That's awesome.
And I mean, one of the best things that I ever did was the 31st of December, 1999. Myself, my father, and my grandfather were all at the distillery, and we filled 30 casks of whiskey on the Millennium. And then we filled another 30 on the 1st of January, the next day, 1st of January 2000. So it's again like 3 generations of my family that filled these things.
That's awesome. Now you have on your website a picture of a fella that filled a cask. And then whatever, 13, 15 years later, he's drinking it. Now he's he's a politician.
Oh, that's Kenneth Clark. I think it's a 25-year-old cask that he filled. Yes. So he just came back, saw the cask, and we're going to get bottled up.
Now, is that something that people can do when they're there? They can fill a cask themselves? No, it's a special event for.
It was just something that we did at times. So when Kenneth Clark was the chancellor, he did actually lower taxes on alcohol. And he was, if you go to look him up, when the chancellor of the Exchequer reads the budget, which is done twice a year, you can drink alcohol when you're doing it. And I think he is the last chancellor to ever do it. And every time he did read the budget, he drank Glenfarclas.
Nice.
And so that's why obviously we have a sort of relationship.
That is phenomenal. I think you do have the best stories. Bottom line, all these people, you have the best stories. Yeah. I wonder if that is the person that's putting you on tonight. He's either getting something or getting ready. So probably wrap things up here, folks. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. And somebody get a chance at a proper jam.
Well, we'll get to
it.
Yep.
Because I've really enjoyed this one. Thank you very much indeed.
Yep, it was a very good one. We will we'll show a little bit of what's going on my Instagram, guys. Once we wrap things up, we'll take some things up there. I appreciate everything. Thank you for your time. It was a great pleasure to chat with you and share. And I can't wait to see your autograph on these bottles, and I'll post it so you guys can see that he actually autographed them. And everybody have a good night.
Cheers.
We will talk later.
Good night.
Thanks, guys.